welcome. This is Blue Club Sports, where I talk about everything going on in the sports world. My name is Ian, and I appreciate you clicking on this video. Please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I also recommend putting a comment down below because I do respond to them and might even feature it in a future video. Now, let's crack on with the video. Hey, what's going on, everyone? So today's video, we're going to be talking about the New York Football Giants. So I was watching a clip from Colin Cowherd's The Herd. I'm a big fan of the show. He's my go-to guy for American sports. So you might see a trend where he talks about something interesting and I, mention it here on the podcast. And I give my opinions of what he said about the topic. But today's episode is about how much sense it would make for Jimmy G to join the New York Football Giants. I think out of 10, it would make a 6. I know there's Daniel Jones supporters out there that, follow him and defend him to the death, and I respect that. I think there's New York, for me, I can't do that. The New York Giants have literally beaten any hope and optimism out of me. And yeah, in my opinion, they've disappointed me way too many times. Too many horrible losses against the Commanders, against the Eagles. And they done piss me off way too many times where it's like I'm starting to become numb to it if I haven't done so already. But Jimmy G to the Giants, I wouldn't be against it. It's not like I'm jumping for joy. It's not like I'm going to run to my computer to buy the shirt off of NFL Shop. But I think it's an improvement from Daniel Jones. I like the fact that we're giving Daniel Jones one more year just because we don't have, keep in mind, we don't have salary cap. We don't have room in our salary cap. So it's not like we can, sign some free agents and win now. I think there's literally no way we can win the Super Bowl, right? We can't, sign a big free agent to try to contend. I think if we look respectable, we're not, 4-12. Well, I don't know with the new 17-game season. I guess it's 4-13. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to be in the top 10 in the draft. I don't want to have a top 10 pick because we suck. We sucked for way too long, and I think Jimmy G gives us some hope, right? That hey, we brought him in. He's destined to prove himself. I've never been an NFL quarterback, but I'm pretty sure if your team drafts your replacement and then forces you out, you're going to be pissed off and you want to prove them wrong. So I think Jimmy G will come in with a good mindset and everything. And Daniel Jones, that's basically it for his career. I think if the Giants do make that move, I think Daniel Jones is destined to be a backup for the rest of his career. Whether that's right or not, you got to, to defend Daniel Jones, he had Pat Shurmur, which he was really good under. He fit Pat Shurmur's system, right? Because Pat Shurmur literally drafted him to fit his system. And then he had 2 years of Joe Judge and Jason Garrett, which were atrocious. And honestly, I think it would be very hard for a quarterback to succeed under those conditions, right? And yeah, I think Daniel Jones, I'm not against giving Daniel Jones one more year. Like I said, we're not in a win now mode anyway. We're trying to rebuild. We have a new regime, new coach, new GM. So I don't have an urgency. Oh, we need to win now. We need to win the division, all this. I just need to see improvement. I want to sit down after this season's over, this upcoming season's over, and say, yeah, the New York Giants are on the right direction. I might have been fooled by Joe Judge's first season. I'm like, yeah, we're on the right track. We were one win away from winning the division, which I thought we were years away from. We beat Dallas when it counted. I don't care that Dak Prescott wasn't on the field. We beat Dallas in a literal playoff game in the last game of the season. And I was proud of my team. I was like, yeah, we're not bad. We're on the right track. And then last year happened, and we all know what happened. So I think that's all I want, honestly, is just to feel like my team is moving in the right direction. And I feel like, honestly, Jimmy G's a proven commodity, whereas Daniel Jones, there's too many unknowns. Did the coaches suck? Does he suck? We don't really know. There's a lot of unknowns. And if someone's going to tell you that Daniel Jones is 100% the guy, he's proven himself, give him that big contract. You know, you got to keep in mind that when he goes in for the contract signing, he's going to be asking for more than $40 million a year. And I literally would laugh myself to death if the Giants literally paid him that much. He's not worth that much. I think Daniel Jones is a mid quarterback at best. His ceiling is mid. And you would have to have a great team around him to get into the Super Bowl, and maybe you can win it. Kind of like it when Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl. He got him there, but when he got there, he didn't really do much. You know, he really needed the parts around him to help him win that game, and they didn't win the game, right? So I think Daniel Jones has an obvious ceiling. Yes, he shows glimpses here and there. He has always those occasional games against Washington where he throws 5 touchdowns and crazy shit like that, but he's just too inconsistent for me, honestly. And if I was the GM of the Giants and he just gives another lackluster season. And the other thing is, we all forget that Daniel Jones almost broke his fucking neck last year. No one even talks about that. So maybe even with us getting Jimmy G, it's not like we're giving up on Daniel Jones either. Maybe Daniel Jones isn't ready to, there's still some concern with his neck, even though he's cleared, right? So I think it might be an insurance policy like, hey, look, we need to rebuild this team. We need to look respectable next year. We can't win 3 games next year. So if, your neck gives out, we got Jimmy G on the side. And I don't wish that on anyone, right? I really hope Daniel Jones is really cleared to play football, and I don't want anything bad to happen to the kid. I honestly do respect who he is as a person. I think he's a real good professional. I think he's the closest thing you can get to Eli Manning from a kid at that age, right? I think he's accepted the role of New York Giants quarterback very well. It's just, honestly, I was rooting for the kid, but to be brutally honest, he hasn't shown enough consistency to be warranted a contract of that magnitude that he would demand if he gets to the end of his deal. But that's all I'm saying is Jimmy G wouldn't be the worst thing to do. Also, a little side note about the Giants. I saw that they brought back the 80s, 90s throwback, the blue jersey. Looks absolutely phenomenal. I ordered a Saquon Barkley, so they got my money. Mission success, mission accomplished for them. They're going to generate a lot of money. That's like literally what everything is on Twitter right now. And Instagram is everyone talking about the Giants' new look. Well, the throwback, right? But how they're bringing it back and everything. And speaking of Twitter and Instagram, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, we are on those platforms. And I really appreciate if you give us a follow on both of them. I'm trying to create a little community here. Of course, it might be mostly Giants fans because I'll be focusing on that. But once the NFL season gets in full tilt, I'm going to be talking mad shit about the Cowboys and the Eagles for sure. But yeah, I'll be covering the NFL in general. Just don't think I'm covering Giants only. I'll cover teams in general, but yeah, the New York Giants will be my focus, I will admit. But I appreciate you watching this video, and you guys take care.